Welcome to the Biodiversity Crisis Seminar. I am B, and I will be your host in this journey through Earth's amazing biodiversity. But what does biodiversity mean? It refers to the variety of all living organisms on the planet Earth, as well as their genetic variety. Historically, biodiversity increased over time, but this is not always the case. Drastic environmental changes can expedite species loss. Let's check them out. Throughout Earth's history, there have been 6 major extinction events. During the first of them, which happened 440 million years ago, about 86% of life was lost. Huge growth in plant life removed carbon dioxide from the air, causing global cooling. Later came global warming and sea levels rose. Creatures that had adapted to the cooler climate were unable to survive the increased temperature, and thus they died. In the second extinction event, called the Late Devonian extinction, about 75% of all life died off. Huge algae blooms consumed vast amounts of oxygen in the oceans, suffocating many species. Another theory suggests that another global cooling took place, resulting in snowball Earth, which led to massive habitat loss, and thus they all died again. The third extinction event was the deadliest of them all, also called the Great Dying. Here, 96% of all life perished. This was due to volcanic activity in Siberia that put massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This warmed the planet and made the ocean and rain acidic, creating a highly toxic environment for life. Sound familiar? In the fourth extinction event, called the Jurassic extinction, about 80% of life was lost, including most of the mammals, making way for the dinosaur ancestors. Volcanoes, asteroids, and nearby supernova star gamma rays made a real shitstorm on the planet's surface, causing this mass extinction event. The fifth extinction event, which is probably also the most popular one, wiped out 60% of all life on Earth. An asteroid landed in the Yucatan Peninsula near Mexico and killed the dinosaurs. Very sad. The impact caused local fires, earthquakes, tsunamis, and even acid rain. Dinosaurs were like, fuck my life. The sixth extinction is actually happening right now, at this very moment, all around you. Thousands of species are dying. The current extinction rate is at least 1,000 times greater than the normal extinction rate, and humans are the main cause for it. Greenhouse emissions, water eutrophication, habitat loss, oceans acidification, and many more. And oh boy, the humans are really pushing it to the limit this time. So we are now in the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene is a term to refer to a new geological epoch in which we are right now. It is characterized by the huge impacts of human activities on Earth. Anthropogenic changes signaled by the mid-18th century steam engine and the planet-changing exploding use of coal have become evident in the air, water, and rocks. There is even a plastic trash layer on the floor. What the fuck? Humans have become a geological force with lasting effects on the planetary geological record. So let's talk about some boundaries. The Earth system boundaries mark a safe zone for the planet to the extent that they are not crossed. The threshold or tipping point is the value at which a very small increment triggers a larger, possibly catastrophic change in the response variable, which is global warming, through feedbacks in the natural Earth system itself. If the boundary is crossed, we enter a danger zone.
Danger zone!
And we don't want to enter the danger zone, right? As you can see from this very smart graph, climate change is one among many factors interacting together for the doom that awaits us all. So let's talk about some global change. As of 2009, 2 boundaries have already been crossed, while others are in imminent danger of being crossed. Damn. For far, the most crossed, like really crossed, is biodiversity loss. Humans have really fucked our co-inhabitants, man. In simple words, there are 5 major threats to biodiversity, Extensive land and sea use destroys and degrades habitats. Roughly 80% of deforestation can be attributed to agriculture. Of course, these and other practices produce a lot of pollutants, leading to pollution of the residual habitats. Overexploitation of species, be it as free labor or as a source of nutrition, can be observed on land,
my fellow bees,
and sea.
poor fish.
Put a lot of stress on our poor animal communities, just like the spread of diseases and invasive species. Climate change, of course, leads to the displacement of species from their natural habitats.
Give back our homes.
And secondary effects like ocean acidification and increased frequency of drought and extreme weather. As all things are, all these threats are connected with each other and have very nasty and unexpected and still to come effects on life on Earth. The highest biodiversity can be found in a few hotspots. These ecosystems are very, very fragile to environmental changes, and they are threatened by the human actions. Since Industrial Revolution, we already have a global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius. If this continues without changes, computer models predict by the end of the 21st century we will have a rise of 4 degrees Celsius. This means melting ice falls, rising oceans, and high pressure on coastal biodiversity. Global warming is also causing a shift in the climate zones, primarily an increase in dry climates. Wildfires occurring in the tropical forests and desertification processes are increasing. It's getting real hot in here, boy! Amazonian forests and tropical regions contribute to most biodiversity on Earth. Hence, these regions face immediate effects of global change. Temperature rises and precipitation levels get all swifty. Coupled with land conversion, these changes could lead to devastating impacts, including increased erosion, degradation of freshwater ecosystems, lots of soil, and tons of bad stuff already happening. It's hard to know how many species actually live on Earth. Scientists regularly throw stones at each other over this topic. Estimates range from 9 million to 1 trillion species. Fact is, there are a lot of species and we only know some of them. Often species die out before they can even be discovered. According to the IUCN's Red List, more than 37,000 species are threatened with extinction, which is about 28% of all assessed species. And because humans only protect what they know and appreciate,
Utilitarian pricks.
the taxonomic process becomes of utmost importance in the conversation of biodiversity. What species are most affected by this, you may ask? Some fellow Earthlings are buffed and some are being nerfed. Insects seem to be faring also well. Vectors of infectious diseases, such as mosquitoes, increase with deforestation and agricultural practices. Fire ants and killer bees,
Murderers,
are booming in numbers due to their expanded range distribution under global warming trends. There's even a rise in tick population as urbanization and reforestation causes them to be exposed to new hosts. Nice! As the oceanic environment fluctuates, squids and octopuses are benefiting from their live fast and die young mentality. On the other hand, coral reefs are taking the brunt of ocean acidification and thermal stress. This in turn affects the fish species dependent on reefs for spawning. There is a loss of sea turtles as their spawning grounds face temperature fluctuations, which leads to the creation of a majority female population. These changes also favor the chytrid fungus that grows on amphibians, resulting in their population decline. You had a good run, amphibians. Last but not least, some of our favorite Instagram photos, macrofauna, are in crisis. Polar bears, giant panda, snow leopard, giant sea turtle, tigers, monarch butterfly, African elephant, cheetah, Asian elephant, and mountain gorilla are some of the most affected. It's very probable that their appearance on the social media networks will start to decline with their very probable disappearance. If you don't act, you human pickle. So in summary, we are experiencing the 6th global mass extinction. Because humans started this shit, it is important to visualize it as the Anthropocene.
Make them feel guilty.
These bozos have crossed several thresholds and climate change is just one of them. Now about how global change ducked biodiversity. While factors involved are several, the affected regions are mostly coastal and America is all fucked up. Well, I mean the Amazon, but I just wanted to say that on camera once. Many species are endangered. Maybe we will have jellyfish-based diet in the future. Acid oceans means ciao bivalves, hello giant mutant jellyfish. So babes, let's calm down a bit. And think about all this alarming information. Sleep well, my fellow bees. Green with rising tides and warm fires. Don't forget to like and subscribe.